Cowherd. Let's start with the Dallas Cowboys. We don't really talk about this team enough. They're very exciting. They're back in the playoffs, and they got to go up against the GOAT, Tom Brady. Jerry Jones fears no man and wants to make sure Dallas is focused on the Bucs rather than Tom Brady. Here's what Jerry Jones had to say.
We're playing Tampa Bay, the team, and it's conceivable that we could make Brady not play well and get their tails beat by the rest of the team. And I'm not trying to be cute, but we've got to go play the entire team, and this Brady thing has got to be sensitive. I know it's there, and I respect that. Gives us a challenge to do something we haven't done before, and that's beat Tom Brady.
Brady's beating everybody a lot.
Hey, remember, there was a narrative for about a year and a half on him playing night games. He had struggled to cover, I think it was like 9 straight night games.
Yeah.
And that kind of carried over to this year. Remember the whole, he's old, Tom Brady's on his TB12, go to bed at 8 o'clock. It's got a night game here in the playoffs Monday night.
Listen, I was just telling Alex on our staff this morning, I had a great sleep year in 2022. I'm like, 8:45, that pillow is calling my name. Brady's, when you get older, that bed starts calling your name earlier, 8:40, 8:35. Brady's going to,
8:35.
He's going to want a nap. Well, you're young. You don't have that. I can hear my pillows talking to me at 8:20. Come lay down. It's very comfortable over here.
Are you taking any sleep aids, by the way?
I don't have to. This year's been the best sleep year of my life.
Wow.
I don't know what happened.
You take nothing.
I take nothing.
Oh,
I'm not even doing cocktails anymore. I'm cleaning my act up.
You love to hear it, Colin. All right, next up, the Jaguars making their first playoff appearance since 2017 when they went to the AFC Conference Finals, lost to the Patriots. Tough loss. Patriots had a fourth-quarter comeback. Saturday's going to feature one of 6 regular season rematches in this year's wild card. Jags did win 38-10 in Week 3, but I think you and I know a little more than just the box score on that game. Here's Doug Peterson on how the rematch will be different. He said, they're different. We're different. That was a long time ago. There's some new faces on their side. There's some new faces on our side. Schematically, probably both the same with us and with them. Again, we've talked about it a lot. You're not going to trick anybody. It just comes down to execution, both sides, them and us.
Most of the teams in the playoffs execute at a high level. These are not just the most talented teams. I would argue the Raiders have a lot of talent. They have a great pass rusher, a great number 1 receiver, the best slot receiver, a great tight end, a star running back, a very good left tackle. The Raiders have 6 or 7 players who are excellent at key positions. They don't do the small things well. They're not efficient. So most of the teams that are in, you'll notice, are playing well, got better after Thanksgiving. The teams that didn't are Seattle and Miami. 2 years ago, they're not playoff teams. Because of our new system, the NFL has added a playoff team. And the 2 teams that don't feel like playoff teams are Seattle and Miami that haven't played very well for a month and a half. So and they're both huge underdogs, as they should be.
Did you see that Keenan Allen did not play in the first meeting between Jags and Chargers? He missed that game.
I know.
Kind of a big deal. That was a game where Rashawn Slater got hurt. Bosa went down.
I know.
Herbert had the ribs. So if you're looking at that and thinking it's going to have any bearing on this game.
Mike Williams, I think, is going to play. Don't know. Okay. I'm going to make some calls.
Talk to your guys
after the show.
You're very connected with the Chargers.
Some sourcing.
Yeah. I'm rooting for them. Okay. Final story. Hey, NBA. We do talk about the association. Steph Curry returned last night in, Golden State. And they lost. Yikes. It was a bad loss. They were down at times by 30 points. Curry did have 24 points, scored 16 in the fourth as they kind of made a comeback, but they lost to Phoenix by 12. Golden State still sputtering, Colin. We're at the midway mark of the season, and they're 20-21.
I watched
8th in the West.
I watched the first 3 quarters of that game, first 2.5 quarters.
And you thought,
I watched first half, they couldn't get buckets. I mean, after about a quarter and a half, I swear to God, they had like 37 points. They couldn't get buckets. Yeah. But I will say, it's nice to see Looney and Wiggins and Steph and Clay. They're all Draymond.
Yeah.
Remember early in the year, Draymond, Jordan Poole had that thing.
When he punched out his teammate and we disagreed vehemently
establishing leadership.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. That's leadership. Nothing says leadership like punching out your teammate when he's not ready for it.
Well, guess what? Jordan Poole's had a great year, and Draymond is as valuable as ever, and it's fine.
They're 20-21, 8th in the
West.
West.
You don't think they're a playoff team?
I didn't. Who said that? By the way, the Lakers, 2 games out of the 16.
Oh, come on.
I know they're 11th or 12th, but they're 2 games out. Big one against the Mavs. Mañana. Luka.
When?
LeBron. Tomorrow night.
Where?
Crypto. I will be in attendance.
Is it still called the Crypto? Is it
Crypto, Staples, whatever it is? I don't know.
I heard Coinbase is now in the toilet.
Oh, jeez. You haven't read a crypto ad in a while, huh?
Yeah, what happened to those crypto ads?
Yeah.
What happened to the crypto ads and all the crypto bros who knew everything about the economic future of America? Where did they go?
I think they're in jail with Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF or whatever. Yeah, I think he's talking to the FBI right now.
What a grift that was. Is that it?
Yeah, let's wrap it there.
All right, J-Mac with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
All that NFT stuff and crypto stuff. Give me a break. Lynn's back. And my takeaway, I have to ask you this based on your history. Go back to the Elway days. So did you ever start a season hot? Then it comes unglued, unraveled, some stuff Can they get back to October Philly? Because if they can, I think they can win the NFC. But I do wonder, it's been spotty. The turnovers are up. They won't have Lane Johnson. It doesn't feel like it felt 7-8 weeks ago, Mark. What say you on that? Can they reboot?
Yeah, I thought it was important that Jalen Hurts played last week.
So did I.
I thought that was important.
Yep.
Because they're going to get a bye week now, but I thought it was very important that he come out and play. It happened to us in Denver in 1997, our first championship run here in Denver. Late in the season, things weren't clicking as well. I had a couple of injuries. And, we took a game in Pittsburgh where we really got our asses kicked. And then a game in San Francisco where, again, we really got our asses kicked. And it was one of those kind of come to reality meetings that we had as a team. And kind of a refocusing, if you will, retooling, played pretty well toward the end of the season, the last couple of games of the season, and kind of got our focus back and then went into the playoffs, as a wild card team and ran roughshod through Jacksonville, then went up to Kansas City, beat them in Kansas City, a place that was really difficult to play for us, and then went to Pittsburgh and won an AFC championship there on our way to a Super Bowl championship over the Green Bay Packers. But it really was kind of the same scenario, turning the ball over, attention to detail wasn't as good. And a couple of those beatings was a real good thing for us. Because all of a sudden you're like, okay, it's time to look at all the little things that you don't look at when you're winning. All the little mistakes. Hey, it's almost a joke, Colin. You'll go, oh, hey, we can't have that offsides here. We can't have that holding call here. And you're like, oh, yeah, we won by 15. It's like whatever. And then all of a sudden you lose a couple of those games and you're like, you know what? You're right. As a player, you go, coaches are right as much as I hate to admit it. And we got to tighten the screws up a little bit. So I think this is a good thing for Philadelphia to kind of take one on the chin for a couple of games and kind of refocus and kind of look at themselves very critically.
Okay, the favorites this weekend: Niners, Chargers, Bills, Vikings, Bengals, Cowboys. Is there one underdog? The Seahawks, the Jags, the Dolphins, the Giants at Minnesota, Ravens, Cowboys. Is there a dog that's barking that you like this weekend?
Yeah, I like. There's 2 on that list that I like a lot. I like Tampa Bay.
Woo!
I like Tampa Bay over Dallas. I think you're going to see a completely different defense. You're going to create some turnovers. Dak Prescott has been prone to throw the ball to the other team several times here over the late part of the season. I think you're going to see a little standpoint. I like their personality. There's a lot made of, Brian Dable and his halftime adjustments and how good he is and all that stuff. And so I asked Brian Dable about it. I go, well, tell me about your halftime adjustments. He goes, I go to Mike Kafka, our offensive coordinator. I said, hand it to 26 as many times as you can, because that's my halftime adjustment. It's like, this is not rocket science. This is the way we go about it. And think about this. Both of their starting corners were on other teams at the beginning of the year. Their starting safety was on another team at the beginning of the year. Their starting middle linebacker was on his couch in October, didn't have a job. A contributor at the safety position, Landon Collins, was on his couch in September, didn't have a job. Humbled himself. He was a former All-Pro player, went on practice squad. Their whole offensive line is, guys that didn't make it elsewhere except